The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Morning and welcome to the show. It's RED Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. We hope you wore red today. Thank you for joining us and supporting our troops.
We begin on the tracks, rails stretching beyond the horizon. Each tie a memory, each rail a promise of where we might go. In the early years, our first logo appeared, a pioneer stepping onto the platform of possibility. Through seasons of growth, change, and challenge, we moved forward. The whistle of opportunity sounded, and we boarded the train of time. The view changed with every mile, some stations brief, others lasting. Our logos changed too, not just emblems, but mile markers of evolution. Along the way, seats filled with teammates, mentors, veterans, and friends. Some stayed for the ride, others stepped off, leaving their legacy on the rails behind us. And still, the journey continues. The tracks ahead stretch into the unknown, familiar yet full of new promise. What matters most is how we travel, with purpose, with grit, with heart. Because the journey matters, the movement matters, and the legacy of those logos, every year, every show, lives on in the rhythm of these rails. So here we are once again, all aboard. The whistle blows, the tracks call. Together we ride. We are the H-Train Show, showing veterans programs beyond the VA since 2015. H is in the building now.
Let's go!
Are you ready for the H-Train Show?
It's coming live.
I took the oath. 20 years I gave my soul. Sandstorms, fire, a roadside blast. Everything I knew shattered fast.
You haven't seen nothing yet! Woo! Woo!
Drowning in turmoil, 15 meds, mine in a haze. Living felt like a permanent death. Still standing strong and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. Voice of the broken, thunder in my chest. With the freedom fighters rising from the wreck. Parents pulled me from the edge of night, pushed me forward back into the light. Ski boots on, carving through pain. Found my fire on that frozen terrain. Said I was too old to beat the race, so I trained like hell, put them in their place. From slurred words to a podium stand. Yeah, I'm racing with lightning in my hands. Still standing scarred and proud. Crushed by war, but I won't stay down. From Kokomo to Olympic slopes, we're the freedom fighters born to cope. Now I take the mic, not a rifle. Broadcast truth, yeah, that's survival. Paralyzed, but still I lead. With every word we plant a seed. Still standing, warriors loud. Can't break us, we screaming proud. Not wounded, we're on the attack. Freedom fighters, and we're taking it back. Freedom fighters, yeah. Keep rising.
Freedom Fighters!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is August 21st, 2026. It is Red Friday, and with me, the eye candy for today, and Jay is back.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. We want to tell you thank you so much for choosing us to spend your morning with. We hope you have your coffee. You know, MJ, we forgot to go grab you coffee.
I have some coffee.
Oh, you got some? Okay, all right, awesome. Hey, we've got some great news, some big news. Not only do we have some new things that have been working on this week, we got Platinum Edition from GuideStar, which pats us on the back for that. It's that shit isn't easy. It isn't easy. And then we have also, I have figured out, thanks to ChatGPT, and look, I want to explain something to everybody. I kind of did a rant about this the other day. People cannot like AI, and that's fine. I do believe that whenever you have an evil, there's always a good part to it. ChatGPT has helped me educate other veterans so that they have a purpose. Because of ChatGPT, we have designed a duck that now, if a veteran wants to do a show, but he doesn't want to show his face, he can do a show without showing his face. Not a cartoon, but like a virtual thing, kind of like on TikTok, the Tomcat thing, and that's going to be
our first MBR VTuber. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Basically, yes. And so we have that. We have that already made. Me and my wife are going to start doing a show here in September called Beaker and Boots. The Quack Pack.
Love it.
And we're just going to make fun of each other. Like she stole my email password to do the trivia the other night, and I'm like, why are you stealing my crap? So we have that. We also have trivia on Wednesday. So if you think that you're smart and you like Jeopardy, you'll go on our Roku, you'll find our TV show, you'll take your phone, you'll scan the code, and right there you can play along. If you do TikTok, you'll have to have 3 devices, one to watch, one to interact with the phone, and then one to be in the box so that you can like get roses and gifts from TikTok and stuff.
Much fun.
Right. So a lot of great things are happening here at MBR, and we just wanted to show you. In fact, MJ, you're gonna love this next piece. It is time for mail call.
Attention mail call.
Oh my God!
Welcome to Mail Call, your soldier spotlight, powered by WorkSimple, highlighting those who serve and inspire.
In the Army, Jose Flores is finding a new way to connect with people. I'm Sayara Williams, your Voice for Veterans reporter, and Flores is using his big personality and a podcast to share stories of life after service.
Oh, girl, I gotta pull this off the wall. This is 17-year-old Jose. Oh my God.
If Jose Flores has an off switch, I didn't find one.
Yeah, I'm the only one smiling, girl. What makes him comfortable with me? Hoo-wah, thank you very much. Me. I bring the noise, so, okay, let's back it up.
It's the same Jose you'll find behind the microphone interviewing veterans and others about their lives.
Gravity takes over, age takes over.
Much fun. So after a while, it doesn't even look like this, like we're doing an interview. We're just family, just 2 people.
And that's kind of the point. The laughs may draw people in, but Flores wants them to leave with something more.
Motivating Mindsets is about faith, resilience, culture, perseverance, giving a platform for people to say their story, to say what's on their mind.
Flores believes someone else's story could be exactly what another person needs to hear. But the idea to start asking people how they're doing didn't start with the podcast.
But it started in the military. It started with when I was a leader, checking in.
Flores served 30 years in the Army, retiring as a first sergeant. He says leadership meant training soldiers, but also knowing them.
part of taking care of them is having a conversation, where you're from, what do you like to do and so on.
That may help explain some of the jokes, but his constant push for positivity comes from something deeper.
I'm not serious anymore. Life is too short to be serious. I've lived through some stuff that's been crazy.
Flores says his military experience left him with PTSD, and at one point, like many veterans, he hit an all-time low.
I'll say straight out, yes, I did try to take my life. Yes, I got help. It was a point where I raised my hand and I said, I need some help.
He says surviving changed how he looked at life and how he shows up for other people.
And once you come out through something like that, your whole worldview changes. You put on some Martian glasses.
So underneath the big reactions, the laughs, and all that noise is a guy trying to make it a little easier for someone else to talk.
You don't know whose roof is leaking unless you live there. Everybody has a story to tell, and unless you ask, you'll never know.
In Westminster, Sayre Williams, WMAR2 News.
All right, and beyond, on behalf of Military Broadcast Radio, I told him in the chat, I posted on Facebook, we are really proud of you. We are really proud of you because we don't just have one show here at MBR that is spotlighting and shedding the light on veteran struggles, because some veterans watch that show and they see these guys having struggles and it motivates them. Hey, I want to be a part of that. That's what this is about. I always tell a story. In 2015, when I got a call from it happened a little bit before 2018, but I got a call from a distant cousin, and she told me, she's like, hey, listen, my fiance, we're getting ready to no pay due because it was a possible government shutdown with Obama and stuff. And she's like, we don't know what to do because we called this one place and they said we wasn't injured enough. And I'm like, well, there's like 300 nonprofits. And, that's the reason why I created Military Broadcast Radio, is so that not only could we help veterans keep connected with resources, but we have a radio station that plays country in the morning, rock in the afternoon, and pop at night. So it's hitting every single genre, especially for those that are in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan or Germany, wherever, because AFN, it still exists. It's just kind of hard. You have to have special equipment for AFN. You don't have to have special equipment for MBR. It's for everybody, for all eras. Doesn't matter what your disability is. And that's the reason why MBR is special. So I'm so glad that Jose got spotlighted. I'm looking to have more shows being spotlighted because it's not me, it's the program. All I do is facilitate it. Absolutely. That's all I do. All right, now, if you're just joining us, welcome to the H Train Show. We're here. Our only mission is to show our veterans and our first responders and our men and women in uniform all over the world that there are more programs out there beyond the VA. My name's H.
My name's MJ.
And we are so glad that you chose to be with us today. Grab some coffee, sit down, relax. It is now time. You play a variety of music. Yeah, we do. And hey, real quick, I want to say good morning and happy Friday to Cassie. She's on TikTok. Thank you so much, honey, for supporting and showing me. Thank you, Yeneth, you beautiful soul, you. I mean, we have so many people on TikTok. You want to know how you can support us without paying any money? Go on TikTok, and it's called Refresh and Heart Me and all that stuff.
Tap.
Yep, and
it's
tap.
Free. Tap.
And all that money, everything that TikTok gives, it deposits right into MBR's account. So keep note of that. All right, now it's 14 minutes past the hour, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a music break because I forgot all about taking the break last week. So when we come back, it's a funny story. My wife sent this to me yesterday. sometimes it's okay not to take people literal. We'll explain when we come back. So, whatever you do, stay with us, don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. It's going to be a good laugh. Stick with us.
Hilarious.
Right here
Come
on
back.
station, NBR.
They thank me for my service. They shake my hand and smile. They say you made it home now, but they don't see the miles. And they don't hear the silence when the world goes to sleep, or see the ghost beside me in the memories I keep. I still see dusty highways, hear the rotor blades above, still see the folded flag handed to the ones they loved. And every single Memorial Day feels like I'm there again, standing in the middle of goodbye, losing brothers, losing friends. 'Cause I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole. But every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. For some it's just a holiday, a barbecue a day away. But for those who wore the uniform, the hurt never fades away. It's birthdays they'll never celebrate, kids growing up without their dad, mothers holding pictures close, trying not to break too bad. And I asked God why I made it, why my sea was still filled, why I got another sunrise while my brothers never will. There ain't a medal for the guilt, no parade can heal the pain. You just learn to keep on breathing while it pours like endless rain. I never really came back home. Part of me got left behind, with the names carved into stone and the tears that families hide. Everybody says I survived, like somehow I should feel whole. But every day I carry them deep within my soul. I made it back breathing, but I lost so much alone. The truth is, after war, I never really came back home. If you see me staring quiet, please don't think I don't care. I'm just talking to the memories of the ones no longer there. And every laugh, every freedom, every flag that waves today was paid for by the broken hearts of the ones who couldn't stay. No, I never really came back home, though my boots touch American soil. Part of me stayed on that battlefield, in the smoke and fear and turmoil. So this Memorial Day, remember, freedom came with heavy cost, and some of us are still searching for the pieces that were lost. I'm still here fighting battles that the world may never know, 'cause the day I came home alive was the day I lost my home.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Red Friday. It's August 21st, and we are here back once again, showing programs out there beyond the VA. We've been doing this since 2005. All right, so you know, I learned a term a long time ago because of my TBI, because I have no filter, TMI. So but it's nice to see that in the really in the regular society, not just the military, that there are some people that literally take things a little, well,
Yes.
we'll let the video show itself. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the What the segment.
Relax your cheeks. Relax your cheeks.
So if you missed that video a little bit, because there was kind of a little delay, there's nothing that we can do about that. But
I'll run it back for everyone. Just
okay,
so
all
we
right.
can get a real appreciation.
Relax your cheeks. Relax your cheeks.
That Dennis was pissed. Did you see that? Like, really?
I work in healthcare and things like that happen. Okay.
Really? I love that. Hey, check this out. Every morning, every Friday, we do this show. And if you have American Funniest Video or something like that, and you would like for it to be broadcast on the air, you know what? Send it to us. We'll play it. We love watching stuff like that.
We should have some blooper contests.
Right?
We should have a
like
blooper contest. Yes.
Yes.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot moment for all.
Let the tail feathers. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. But it's nice to know, number one, that people have a sense of humor. Number two, now if you hey, look, if you go to the doctor and he sticks his finger up your woohoo, and you like kind of thing. It happens. Don't worry about it. Don't get embarrassed.
Well, was this person sedated, or did they have local anesthesia? Because that makes a difference. Okay? We need to know. We need more information.
I know. Hey, if you posted that video on TikTok, let us know. Give us a backstory. I love backstories. That's one of our new segments for the end of the show.
Okay.
You'll like that. You'll like that.
Okay.
The behind the stories things. Okay. Well, now it is time for our top story for today.
Week in Review. Next stop, Week in Review.
There you go.
Today's top story is a follow-up to something we discussed right here on the H Train Show last week. The extended deployment of the USS Abraham Lincoln. After spending more than 250 days deployed, relief has finally arrived for the sailors aboard the Lincoln. The USS George Washington has reached the Middle East, and it's preparing to take over its mission, allowing the Lincoln and its crew to begin the long-awaited journey home. Now, when we hear that another aircraft carrier has arrived, it may sound like routine military handoff. One ship comes in and another goes out, but there is nothing routine about what these sailors and these families have endured. It also, more than 250 days at sea means missed birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, holidays, and countless ordinary moments that families can never get back. It means spouses running households alone, children waiting for parents to come home, and sailors pushing through exhaustion while trying to remain focused on a dangerous mission. It also means that every time the deployment was extended, families had to readjust their expectations. Imagine believing your husband, wife, mother, father, son, or daughter is finally coming home, and then being told, not yet. That uncertainty takes a toll. There have been reports of supplies shortages and growing concerns about the crew's mental health. Those concerns should not be brushed aside simply because these men and women volunteered to serve. Yes, service members understand that deployments are part of military life, but volunteering to serve does not mean surrendering the right to proper support, honest communication, and responsible leadership.
That's the key
We
thing
need
right there. That's the
responsible
key thing.
leadership.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And we do not have that currently. Our sailors are not machines, they are human beings. They may stand watch, maintain aircraft, keep the engines running, prepare meals, provide medical care. But underneath those uniforms are people carrying stress, exhaustion, fear, and the pain of being separated from everyone they love. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine what their days are like. The Lincoln's crew continued performing its mission while tensions in the Middle East placed even greater demands upon them. Whatever anyone's political opinion may be, the sailors aboard the ship did not decide where they were sent or how long they would remain there. They received their orders and they carried out their mission. That deserves our respect, but respect cannot stop at saying, "Thank you for your service." Real respect means asking whether we are taking care of them while they serve. It means making sure that they have the supplies that they need. It means ensuring, and this is so important, that their mental health resources are available without stigma.
That's huge.
Without
That's huge.
stigma.
That's huge. And, I brought this up the other day.
Yes.
When you're in the military, you get kind of made fun of. Hey, you're going sick call, ranger, blah, blah, blah. But yet, now when I'm like 50 years old, and I'm missing like medical records, I'm like, well, shit. Why am I giving my arm to the government when they can't even fix it?
Absolutely.
So yeah, everybody's like, oh, well, those sailors need to suck it up and blah 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 blah. Okay, dude. All right. I like to see you go back there and do it, because it's a different time. It is a different time compared to when we had good leadership, guys. We had really good leadership. Right now, we don't really have good leadership. Not with the person that's in charge of the military, in my opinion. But that's where we're saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry, MJ.
Well, it's okay. And I think that we're more informed. We have more knowledge about trauma. We have more knowledge about how war impacts a human being. And with that said, we need to reduce the stigma. It means keeping families informed, and it means helping sailors readjust when they finally return home, because coming home does not automatically mean that everyone is okay. Some sailors may need time before they feel normal again. So that is why the homecoming cannot be where our support ends. In many ways, that is where a different kind of support must begin. And I'm glad that the USS George Washington has arrived to relieve the Abraham Lincoln. I am glad the sailors can finally begin to look forward to coming home. But we should also remember that sailors aboard the George Washington are now stepping into that same dangerous mission, and their families are beginning their own period of waiting and grieving sometimes. I mean, there's grief that's involved in this. One crew is coming home while another takes its place. So today, we recognize both of them. To the crew of the U.S. Abraham Lincoln. Hold on.
Sorry, guys.
Hold on.
I guess I'm fired.
Joel, let's see. I don't know where we were. Joel is in charge of what I am reading. And I have no idea. Let's keep going down.
Okay.
Keep going.
Well, you guys
Keep
find out.
going.
I'll just say my
Thanks.
thoughts on it is,
Go ahead.
Like nobody expects a military deployment when you're on the aircraft carrier to be a cruise, but to dismiss that, like all the concerns that the sailors' lives are like 24/7, just
Right.
terrible. Like it shouldn't. Like there should be
Thank you.
moments of reprieve for sailors, even when they're on the deployment. And for the ship to be undersupplied and for the conditions to be bad for the sailors like from
It's
what
okay.
it sounds like it was 24/7.
stuck
It's just
there.
not okay. You know, that impacts their effectiveness and their ability to execute their
down?
duties in the military.
Okay. All right.
This is the top.
Okay.
I can't.
That's all right.
So yeah, I agree, HG. Keep going.
Like
I need to go down.
Down?
Yeah, down, because that's the top of the story.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Joel is fired.
Hey, you
Okay,
know,
keep going.
We're taking
keep
applications for a new
Keep
teleprompter.
going. Keep going. Stop. Okay. And to the crew of the USS George Washington, stay alert. Take care of one another and know that people back home are thinking about you. The ships may receive the headlines, but it's the sailors and the families standing behind them who carry the true weight of every deployment. Welcome home, Lincoln. Fair winds and following seas.
Thank you, MJ.
That
Thank you,
was
MJ.
so hard.
Thank you, MJ. Yep, H screwed it up again.
Woo, that's
All right.
okay.
Oh, and now, ladies and gentlemen, MJ, what else we got?
Oh, I'm not sure. What else do we have? We have sports.
Oh, sports report.
We have a sports report.
All right, I got you with
I've
the
been
sports
waiting
report.
for that.
Now, before we get into it, I got a little bit of a trivia question for everyone. No promises, but maybe if somebody listening in can get this right, we can send you a duck or some MBR merch in the mail. But the preseason AP top 25 polls for the upcoming college football season have come out. In the top 10, there are only 2 teams that are not an SEC or Big Ten school. What are those 2 teams? I'll reveal the answer at the end of the sports report, but we're going to start with an update on the MLB. And Rangers pitcher Jacob DeGrom has made history, reaching 2,000 strikeouts in the second fewest innings and games pitched. His 1,660 innings pitched is second only to star pitcher Chris Sale, and his 271 games is second only to Hall of Famer Randy Johnson.
Wow.
DeGrom set this record on a 10 strikeout night against the Nationals last night. All right. And then another standout performance, Zach Neto went absolutely off for the Los Angeles Angels. Went 5 for 6 at the bat with a homer and 7 RBIs to help a 8-3 rout over Houston. In WNBA news, Kelsey Mitchell is just continuing to shine. She dropped 37 points last night, knocking down 4 of her 7 threes and going 15 of 15 at the charity stripe. It's officially been a month since her last game where she didn't have at least 20 points. That's 21 games in a row, a new WNBA record. It did come in a losing effort, though, as Dallas Wings took down the Fever 91-85, powered from 32 from Arika Gumbawale, 26-8 from Jessica Shepard, and a 7-block night from Awuk Kuyar.
And he pronounces it right.
Yeah, this is women's basketball.
Women's basketball. Unfortunately for the Wings, they do have some bad injury luck. They're going to be without the number 1 overall pick and their star, one of their star guards, Azzy Fudd, for the rest of the season. She's going to be rehabbing a knee injury. And then another rookie sensation for the Minnesota Lynx, Olivia Miles, exited the team's Wednesday night victory over the Golden State Valkyries in the 4th quarter after tweaking her ankle. No update on the long-term severity of the injury. Switching over to men's basketball for a little bit. It's a good week to be a Cavs fan, bad week to be a Nuggets fan. The Cavs land Peyton Watson as the big part of a 5-team trade that also sent Max Strus to the Clippers, and James Harden signs a new 3-year deal worth $97 million.
Wow.
For my Nuggets, it's a huge blow for us. We were in second apron trouble, and now we lose potentially our best young prospect and really our best defender on roster. In NFL news, we had a couple of preseason games last night. Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 overall pick, getting his second bit of action. Did have a bit of a struggle in this one. Threw an 86-yard or an 80-yard pick six while his backup, Aiden O'Connell, looked really good, throwing for 166 and running in the game-winning touchdown. Rookie running back Mike Washington continues to look good. He ran for 56 yards on just 9 attempts. So Raiders might have a bit of a two-headed monster in their backfield with Ashton Genty and Mike Washington. The other game last night between the 49ers and Chargers turned into a rout after Jacob Cowing ran an 83-yard punt return back for a touchdown, and the Niners cruised to a 41-17 rout. Dejon Stribling, the rookie wide receiver who I thought was the biggest reach of the draft, has actually been really good in his first 2 preseason games, but he did drop what would have probably been a walk-in touchdown last night. Some other news, Vita Vea, after some trade talks, signed a 1-year, $30 million deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Aaron Donald continues to work out with the Rams, but no official decision on whether he'll be playing this year has been made yet. We've had a lot of fights at joint practices this training camp period. We saw multiple brawls break out between the Giants and Dolphins, and actually multiple players were pulled from the practice. And the NFL fined the Cowboys and Saints $500K for their practice that saw many fights. Now, back to the top 25 list. Do we have any answers on who those 2 non-SEC and Big Ten schools are?
We don't. We don't see anything on TikTok. I don't see anything on any social media, but hey, it is still early. So let's hold the answer until the end of the show, and we'll see if we get something.
All right. We'll hold it till the end of the show. I will the last note I'll leave you with then. Some interesting teams not in the top 25 that were receiving votes, though. We saw a MAC team and a Central USA team in Liberty and Western Michigan getting some votes. Interesting there. Virginia, who came in second place in the ACC, only received 1 vote to be in the top 25. Clemson, this is like the first time in a very long time that they have not been in the preseason top 25 poll, but they are the team receiving the most votes that isn't in the top 25. So they're basically 26.
I'm so scared right now because my team is in the SEC. And so making me nervous.
When we did trivia Wednesday, like I thought I was good, and then they brought up mascots. I thought, I got this. Yeah. Man did not know anything. I didn't know anything when it came to mascots.
Okay, so I'm from the South, and the SEC is my thing. And when I started watching football up here in the West, it looks so weird. The colors, the teams, the ducks, all of that stuff, just so strange. So I'm curious as to what the answer is, because I'm hoping that my school, that my college is still in the SEC. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
What state is your school in? I can maybe reveal the answer.
Here, I'll give you Go Tigers.
You talking about Mizzou?
I'm talking about LSU.
Oh, LSU. Just outside the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which,
all right. It's okay. Look, we've been rebuilding the Saints and LSU. We don't look too good, so it's all right.
They're the number 11 team. They go 7-6 last year. Bit of a disappointing season. They fired their head coach.
Yeah.
Brought in Lane Kiffin. We know all about the drama with that. They had a really good transfer portal, though, this year. Good recruiting class as well. They landed the number 1 transfer prospect at the quarterback position, Sam Levitt. So high expectations. Should be a really good team. I will say though, it feels like it's playoff or bust down there in Death
Look,
Valley.
as long as we're better than Alabama, okay? All right, that's all I care about.
All right.
I can't believe you didn't know that I was impersonating Ed Ogeron. Okay? Go Tigers.
All right, you college talkers. It is now time, before we go to the interview of the week, it is now time for that wonderful segment. Let's learn some history together. August 21st, it is Drop That Date.
Today in history.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today, and I'm going to read this because I suck as a teleprompter evidently. The battle of the what? How do you
I
pronounce
can
that
read
word?
it. All
Okay,
right.
all right.
Okay, I'm going to read this.
Okay.
And when I do this, I
Okay.
want you to move it.
Okay. All
Until
right.
I do this, do not move it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, today we're dropping the date on August 21st, 1942, and we're heading back 84 years to the early months of America's fight in the Pacific during World War II. The place, Guadalcanal, in the Solomon Islands. The event, the Battle of the Tenarue, also known as the Battle of Alligator Creek. And this battle would give both sides a brutal lesson about the war that was coming. I did not give you
Yes, ma'am.
a finger. And he moved it. Okay. So, just weeks earlier on August 7th, 1942, U.S. Marines had landed on Guadalcanal. Why did this little island matter so much? Because the Japanese were building an airfield there. If completed and controlled by Japan, it could threaten Allied supply routes between the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. The Marines captured that unfinished airfield and eventually named it Henderson Field. But Japan wasn't about to simply let them keep up. Japanese forces were sent to Guadalcanal to push the Marines back into the sea. One of those forces was commanded by Colonel Kiyonao Ichiki. Ichiki had roughly 900 troops with him during the attack. And here's where things went terribly wrong. Japanese commanders badly underestimated, I lost my place, how many Americans were actually on Guadalcanal. They believed they could break through the Marine defenses with a powerful nighttime assault. During the early morning hours of August 21st, 1942, Ichiki's troops attacked Marine positions near Alligator Creek. Waiting for them, Marines of the 1st Marine Regiment, supported by machine guns, artillery, and other American forces, the Japanese attacked aggressively. Again and again, but the Marines held their positions. Imagine being one of those young Marines in the darkness. You don't have satellites, you don't have drones flying overhead giving you a perfect picture of the battlefield. You're hearing gunfire, explosions, people yelling, and movement somewhere out in the darkness. And you're trying to figure out what's coming next. The fighting became absolutely vicious. Japanese soldiers attempted to cross the creeks and break through the American lines, but Marine, machine gun, and artillery fire devastated the attacking force. When daylight arrived, the battle wasn't finished. The Marines counterattacked. American tanks moved into the area while Marine infantry continued pushing against the remaining Japanese positions. By the time the Battle of Tenarue ended, Ichiki's force had nearly been destroyed out of roughly 900 Japanese troops involved. Only a small number escaped. Colonel Ichiki himself died following the battle. American losses were far smaller, although dozens of Marines were killed and wounded. But the importance of Tenarue went beyond casualty numbers. This was the first major Japanese ground assault against the Marine perimeter on Guadalcanal. And it shattered the idea that a relatively small Japanese force could simply overwhelm the Americans and retake the island. But there was another lesson. The Marines learned something too. Guadalcanal wasn't going to be won in one battle. The Japanese weren't coming back, or were coming back. And they did. The Guadalcanal campaign continued for months with brutal fighting on land and sea and in the air. Thousands of Americans and Japanese would eventually lose their lives before the campaign ended in February of 1943. And that's why I think Dates like August 21st, 1942 deserve to be remembered. History books give us battle names. They give us commanders. They give us maps. They give us casualty numbers. But behind every one of those numbers was somebody. Somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's husband, somebody's friend. And many of these Marines were incredible young men who found themselves thousands of miles from home, standing in the darkness on an island most Americans had probably never even heard of before the war. They didn't know how Guadalcanal would end, and they didn't know that historians would still be talking about this battle more than 8 decades later. They only knew that Marines standing beside them and the job that had been given, hold the line, and they did. Drop the date. We remember August 21st, 1942, the Battle of the Tenarue. We remember the Marines who stood that line. We remember those who never came home. We remember that history isn't just about what happened. It's about who was there when it happened. I'm MJ, and this is your Drop the Date.
All right. Awesome.
That gave me feels, man.
Right?
Yes,
Awesome.
That gave me feels.
Hey, I'll tell you what, everybody. Since I've been doing this show for a long time, every day I learn something new. Every day I'm learning something. And those that have followed the journey, those that have watched me over the years from, taping a lapel mic to speakers to finally learning how to do a mixer, there's a lot of hosts that we have here. And one of the hosts one time, he did a show and he's like, take it off. It's not good. And I'm like, no, you need to leave it there, man. You need to leave it there because the important thing, it's not about the show. It's about your progression,
Yeah, learning.
When, for example, a really good example would be the Zach Brown band. Okay.
Yes.
Country
I love
music.
them. I love Zach Brown.
So one of my good friends, Keith Deutsch, when he went in, when he was part of Wounded Warrior Project, he went to this concert, this no-name concert that was opening for this other play, and they had this little trailer, and on a piece of paper it said Zach Brown Band,
Yep.
and he looked at me and he was like, dude, like they were nobody.
That's exactly how I found Zach Brown in about 2012 or 2013. They were at the New Orleans Jazz Fest, and I saw them. And that man did a cover of Metallica with the fiddle, and he was so he's so eclectic with his music. It's not just country. So he is exceptionally talented, and so he won me over in that one show.
And I'm telling you, like there's
Had no idea who he was.
I tell you, that's the reason why some of these videos that we play, these veterans playing music, like they're really good playing music. They really are,
Lots of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of talent.
That's what it's all about. It's all about progression. We're not perfect. It's all about progression.
And we're going to make mistakes on live radio,
Oh, yeah. And, I tell you, we really appreciate everybody that supports and that watches us every morning because we know it's pretty early.
It is very early. Yeah, we haven't had enough coffee. Right. We wake up. When we were doing this Drop the Date moment, it got me thinking. So I had an uncle. It was my grandmother's brother. And the story was that he was in the war and that a bomb went off around him. So I remember him. He was Uncle Buddy. And, I work with special needs children. I'm a speech language pathologist, so I rehabilitate brain injuries and things. And he was alive when I was about 5, 6, 7, 8. And we used to go and visit him in Wiggins, Mississippi at the VA hospital. And I can remember he would shuffle and things like that. And they used to say that he had shell shock. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Are you familiar?
I am. Shell shock is now interpreted PTSD.
Okay. But when I look back at it and I think about him, part of me wonders if he was special needs back then and allowed to go into the military. Did they allow that back then?
Kind of. And, it's really important to know that, it's, there's things that just like us that we're finding out, military isn't any different. It's just like TBI.
Military is even more difficult because, the machismo and everything. You have to be so strong. But I've also watched some videos and they have like these weird shuffles. And I can remember him doing that and having this strange gait and shuffle. And it just seemed more than like PTSD-ish. But wow, if that was PTSD from shell shock, that's insane.
Right?
Yes.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Our interviewer is in the studio. I gotta go pick them up. Until then, she's gonna shed some light on a hand up, not a handout. Let's just put it like that. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Brianna with a joyful journey.
What a wonderful.
So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the show that highlights all the non-profit programs out there beyond the VA, the H-Train show right here on letting our veterans' voices be heard, the station, MBR. Stay with us.
Hand it up.
Well, if I die tomorrow, you will remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you will remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. If I die tomorrow, would you come visit me? Wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear. Oh, well, if I die tomorrow, you would did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? And did I do the right things for my family? Did I do the right things for my family? Well, if I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. And if I die tomorrow, and if I die tomorrow, would you come visit me? Wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers, and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear.
So nice to meet you. Do you get anything?
between our toes by men who crossed oceans and came back close. They didn't talk much about the hell that they saw, just tipped their hats and lived by the law. We learned early on, you stand or you fall, carry your weight or you don't stand at all. From a hard day's work, no time for lust, showed us what a man is by what a man does. We weren't raised quitters, suck dust, bent steel, learned to take a hit before we learned to feel. Don't be freedom's foe, don't bring my family woe. You never known pain like the kind you know. When you make a good man bad, take his peace away, turn a quiet life into a judgment day. It'll be fun, we won't run, cut you down without noise. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. With the Boomer Boys. Yeah. We cut our own switches, drank from roadside ditches, learned which way the river really flows. Yeah, smart enough to always peek downstream. Hard lessons not every generation knows. Worked through sickness, sweat, broken bones. Didn't need a lot to stand on our own. Punched the clock, brought a paycheck home, clothes on, our kids back, that's how love was shown. We don't go looking, but we won't back down, threading what's ours and up in the ground. Don't be freedom's foe, don't bring my family woe. You never known pain like the kind you know. When you make a good man bad, take his peace away, turn a quiet life into a judgment day. It'll be fun, we won't run, cut you down without noise. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. Yeah, with the Boomer Boys. Oh. A homegrown sleeper cell, quiet and still, protecting our kids and paying our bills. Leave our culture alone, let a flag fly free, or suffer the storm from every color and creed. Raised by wolves from a harder time, depression, grit, and a war-born mind. They didn't show love like we do today, too tired for our time. Just go out and play. Don't take my freedom, don't threaten my kin. You'd rather take a wolf's kill from its den, or slap a rattlesnake to see what it do. You'll get bit either way, and that's all on you. Our fathers were hard men, they suffered and lost, built tomorrow from nothing, no matter the cost. Knocked down many times, but got back in the game. They showed us the way, then gave us the reins. Don't be freedom's foe, don't bring my family woe. You never known pain like the kind you know. When you make a good man bad, take his peace away, turn a quiet life into a judgment day. It'll be fun, we won't run, cut you down without noise. That's how it goes with the Boomer Boys. Yeah, yeah. Songs of silence, steel and scars, raised in the shadow of old war stars. And if that call comes, you won't hear noise, just a rising stone of the Boomer Boys. Hey!
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
All right, and we're back on this Red Friday, August 21st, 2026. We have the interview of the week, Brianna.
Woo-hoo. Welcome.
There we go. So excited to be here. So thank you guys.
We're glad to have you.
Oh, yeah.
So nice to meet you.
You know, I read the website and I read, how, bringing the community in together, it's not really a handout. It's kind of like a hand up. I love that. Brianna, tell us a little bit of is there a big story behind the nonprofit? Like, how did you get involved?
So I got involved because my daughter actually came to us through cheer. So we used to do a youth sports program.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. And so I got involved with her being a cheerleader through their youth program. And then one of those famous last lines of, I think I can do this better. And so I offered to help, and I started out as a cheer parent and then became a sports program director. And now I'm the director of operations and running it kind of. There's a 3-man team of us, so we're all running it together. It's awesome. We have the executive director, an office manager, and myself doing all of it for the community. So it's really fun. The biggest things that we're doing now is we do a food pantry weekly, so people can come see us twice a month. That's free. We let people shop. We're one of the few that say, come in, grab what you want, what you'll eat, what you need. We have a ton of different types of choices.
I love that. That's very different than those food
Yeah,
pantries
not a
here.
box.
That's wonderful.
And the
Bree.
nice thing about it, I mean, I'm a Christian and all, but a lot of people, they get nervous when they go into a church because they're like, okay, are they going to ask questions? Are they going to judge? And stuff like that. And just having a nonprofit that has a pantry, it's a little bit more relaxing. It really is. Now, for some that go to church, hey,
that's your thing.
That's your thing. Yeah.
There's no judgment.
There's no judgment.
But if you don't go to church and you show up at a church, it's almost like showing up at a wedding or a funeral by yourself. It just feels awkward.
But for me, I know a little something about these food pantries that we have in Denver, Aurora. They're everywhere. What makes Brianna's different, it seems like, is that they're not asking the questions and giving them what they want. Other places, it's my understanding that they have to ask questions.
Yep.
You have to give an ID. You have to go through quite a process, it seems like.
Too is county restrictions. So a lot of them, like the Auroras and the Denvers, you got to live in their county.
Okay.
The one nice thing about Joyful Journeys is I'm not a county affiliated. I'm not with the city. I'm not with the government. So you can come visit me wherever you live, and I have no income restrictions. So that's another one.
Amazing.
Hey, because
that's
this
even
mic is short,
more
can we turn
amazing
up the
because
purple?
everyone needs help right now.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for us is hardships, life journeys. Who knows? You never know when you're going to lose your job.
Right.
A child's going to get sick. You lose your.
Especially right now in society.
Life
I
happens.
just bought gas.
I'm
I just bought gas
struggling.
and it's $5 a gallon.
Hey, I have raised 3 kids, put 3 children through private school, all the way from preschool to high school, and I feel poorer now as a single adult living in Denver than I did ever in my life.
Life's for people, and unfortunately,
Yes.
you just don't know when that journey is going to come, and so that's why we don't have the income restriction, because unfortunately, it's not always fair that people who are low income always have these opportunities when somebody has a hiccup or. I was in a really bad car accident. It took me out for 3 months. What am I going to do? How am I going to feed my family when I'm not at work for 3 months?
Right. Especially if you don't have Aflac.
Right.
Well, but no. So, I mean, I totally understand this concept because I work in healthcare and I work in special education. And one of the benefits that my students are able to get through a separate Medicaid pool, which is kind of iffy right now because of everything that we're going through. That is one of the only middle class and upper class benefits from our tax dollars that I know I received as a parent, and I also paid for private therapy. So, I mean, this is an amazing idea, and people need it. You're actually targeting part of the community that never gets help, and we're always the ones who help to give. And then when we need help, It's not there.
And it's a big pill to swallow to ask for help. So that's
Yes,
the one thing that
the
I
shame.
love, that there is no judgment. There is no, you know, you can come. Yes, I love hearing the backstories, and I think it's amazing that people want to share their lives with us, and we're kind of therapy, you know, for them.
Absolutely.
And I love that. But I also want everybody to know, like, you don't got to come in with a story.
Right.
Like, you don't need to tell me.
No.
I'm here to help you.
Right.
I don't care what you're, in a harsh way. I don't really care what you're,
Right.
why you're here.
Right.
No, you're still empathetic. You
Yeah,
care
I
about them,
care,
but you don't need
but
their
I don't
personal
need
story.
this long list of why,
No.
and you don't gotta feel like you have to justify to me why you need the help, because I'm here to help.
What inspired this? I mean, because we've gone from cheer to a food pantry here.
So I started with the sports, and then as we kind of had to downsize due to the economic kind of struggles that everybody kind of
Cheer
went
is
through.
expensive.
Cheer was expensive. I just continued seeing the need, and I kept seeing how I was making a huge difference. And so we do more than just the food pantry. We do also like holiday assistance, and I think that was the biggest one for me, was Christmas. Receiving a hug from a mom who's like, without this, I wouldn't have been able to afford Christmas for my kids.
Wow.
It's about to put me in tears, because
Yes,
it's just
that's my
one
heart right
of
now.
the things that, like, I keep coming back to, is just the gratitude that these families give us.
And I can tell that you're like emotionally invested in this,
So-
because your eyes
have
are a little
goosebumps.
watery.
Yeah, I have goosebumps, and I
do,
understand.
yeah. Like,
it's so beautiful.
I think it's the getting the hugs from the parents, and the sharing the stories, and knowing that without us, a lot of these kids or these families would go without. And so it's the reward of the job. It's the being able to know that I'm making a difference, and that's what keeps bringing me back, and that's what keeps making me go, what else can we do?
Now, are you a Colorado native?
I am.
You know how I can tell that she's a Colorado native?
How?
This is
Because I need
really
to
weird.
know.
This is really weird.
Oh no.
I didn't know. I can't tell.
Everybody that's a Colorado native, I've noticed on their nostril, the right nostril, they
Stop.
always have it pierced.
What?
All Colorado
the
native.
weirdest.
I know.
The weirdest.
I know.
There is no scientific.
You're a woman. Where's my pencil?
This is not scientifically proved. There are no longitudinal studies, okay?
I literally just got this done like a year ago with my daughter. This is so brand
And
new.
I've been wanting one ever since I was like 18, and I'm from New Orleans, okay?
Well, I'm not saying like everybody does. I'm just
I had
saying.
it on my dominant side of my face. I think that was the thing. It was kind of like, where do you want it? They
Well, I
gave me
would
a
get it
choice.
here, too,
Now-
on the right.
Now she's gonna leave here and look at everybody. Hey, are you Colorado native?
She's not going to do
Question.
that. Yeah, hey, where are you from? I like your nose
Thank
ring.
you.
So I'm sure that you help thousands of families every week.
Yes.
Recently, without mentioning names, because we don't want to
privacy.
embarrass anybody, but is there a story that really touched you that you can share with the community?
Yeah, I think I get them all the time.
Yeah.
So there's probably no one specific. I think the consensus of all of it, though, is really, this is how I feed my family. This is, without you guys, I don't get to feed my family. And I try to do, I'm a big component of equal. So for me, what I have on Mondays, what I'm going to try to have on a Friday, just because it's not fair that you work Monday through Thursday and only can come see me on Friday. And it's not fair that you come every Monday when you know I'm getting a delivery and you come and
Correct, yeah.
steal everything.
And we have
Steal,
healthcare shift work.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, I make sure that's very plentifully even and that there's limits. So I think that's the biggest thing that I see that everybody lets me know, is that I get to come here and pick for my kids. My kids are getting dinner. This sounds good. I can't tell you how many people come in and like, oh, what is that? I'm going to make this meal. And then you're like,
Oh,
that sounds delicious.
right.
When are we coming over for dinner?
Oh,
So I think it's the reminder of like, kids are being fed, especially during the summertime and, schools. And so I try to replenish. There's the snackies for the kids. Take what you want. I got 2 teenagers. I just took one to college last week or this.
They eat
back.
so much.
They just eat you out of the house. So I'm
They
like,
do.
I always tell my kids, I joke, I'm like, I need your school stomachs, please. And they're like, what is that, Mom? I was like, the one you don't eat at school.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing, because that's something that I worry about. I'm from New Orleans, and I spent almost 20 years in Orleans Parish. And when we would go on breaks,
Oh, it's bad.
I was so nervous. I was so scared for my kids because not only for the things that could happen to them, but I knew that school was one of
That's
the
where they're
only
getting their
places that's
meals.
where they were. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where they eat. And there are kids here,
Yeah.
many kids here.
Now with Buckley Air Force Base, not very too far from here, I'm guessing that there's a lot of veterans or a lot of or airmen that come to your location. And before, just letting you know, any time that we can support you, let us know.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that we can help you with that with resources, because I've got resources as well. But I have you saw an increase in military needed support, or it has it mainly been non-military?
No, I get a healthy share of everything. I get a healthy share of seniors. I get a healthy share of veterans. I get a healthy share of low income. And so something is we have to kind of track who we help. That's just part of the agreements we have with the food pantries that provide us the food.
Okay.
Because we are donation based. So we don't spend a single penny on any of our food. So anything that we get is either through a grocery rescue program, Food Bank of the Rockies, public donations, private donations. So everything is donation based. But part of our agreement with Food Bank of the Rockies is because of their primary is we have to kind of track who we're helping. So we do collect demographics, but again, I collect your demographics and you become a number out
Not
in the
specifics.
universe.
Yeah, there's no name attached to it. It's just a demographic.
I just kind of need to know what city and county you live in.
Male, female,
And
veteran,
yeah,
non-veteran.
exactly.
And I totally understand, because like when I have veterans coming to me, wanting to do a show or needing support for something else, they sit there and like, oh, I'm 100%, they just go on, telling me how disabled they're, and I'm like, look, first of all, it's none of our business what percentage you are. You need help. You need help.
Exactly.
You fill out an application. Now, the application process, how is that with you guys' nonprofit for them to gain access to
how do
the
they
food
find
pantry?
you?
So we are online on our website is a good place to start. We do food pantry appointments through an app called Plentiful. So you can either go straight from our website, which will take you to the app.
What's
or
the website?
www.joyfuljourneys.org. So you can come visit that anytime you want. We have on there to make an appointment. We also have on there how to sign up for other events, the free events that we also do, other ways we provide to the community, like our holiday assistance. And we can talk about that in just a second. Or they can go straight through the Plentiful app, which is something you can download, or go to their website and make an appointment. Again, it's kind of real easy. We're just by appointment.
It sounds easy.
Yeah, you just kind of make an appointment. I always get phone calls of help me make an appointment, or when is the next time you guys have a time? And I tell people all the time, just constantly check that Plentiful app, because people delete and cancel, things happen. Sometimes people can't make their appointments. So appointments open up fairly frequently, and I only have it out for a month. So it's never like someone can't come in and make an appointment 3 months out and then forget about their appointment. 'Cause that's another thing. We all get busy in our lives, and God, I don't even know what I'm doing in 2 days from now, let alone what I'm doing 3 months from now.
Seriously. Like last night, I had to remember all of my appointments for today. And I'm like, why do I keep forgetting this?
Yeah,
Like,
so I
don't
do
forget
just
to go here for
a
one.
month out, so that it's not one of these like a dreaded like, oh, I forgot I did that.
Well, I'm just glad that you came in, because
so
she just got back from overseas.
Oh, wow. What were you doing overseas?
My son graduated high school, so part of his graduation gift was a vacation. So I did that, and then ironically, just the timing of everything, because I am a single mom and juggling kids and work and personal life.
I understand. Yeah.
A new chapter in my life that I sometimes feel like I am failing.
No, you're not.
But I did that, and then ironically, he left to go to California for college for baseball, and so I literally just got back last night from taking him to Northern California to get him situated. So it's like
drive or fly?
That is so awesome.
I did both.
Oh boy!
It's a 21-hour drive there, so we had to get his car out there. So I drove the first half, and then I flew home last night after.
What position does he play?
He's a pitcher.
I was just telling Joel about. I have a little cousin who was drafted from to the Astros. He just got moved to the Padres, Triple A. But yes,
exciting.
So he's a pitcher as
He's
well.
a pitcher, yeah.
So that's
so
awesome.
He's going to college out there, and it's different from Mama's heart. So this will be a new chapter again. Child not at home.
It's gonna be okay, Mom.
Yeah,
it's gonna
so
be okay.
I've been kind of juggling, when do you get time off for yourself, and that, mental
I
health
hope
is.
that you're doing that.
Yeah,
because I
and the
have
jet
3
lag has to be
children,
killing you.
Well, 33, 30, and 23. And self-care was not something talked
Oh,
about way
no.
back when. So you need to
Especially-
take care of yourself.
I feel like I'm learning that now as a single mom, even
Same.
before I was, married and done all that. I'm like, now is when I'm finding out I need to take care of myself, and it's crazy.
Me too. I
So,
feel like I'm becoming a human being after
Yeah.
50 years old and learning how to live
Figuring
life.
out myself.
Yes, it's different.
Yeah. So
Joel feels that way too sometimes.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
he's always confused.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm kidding.
You know, I never use a CPAP machine. Now I have to use a CPAP machine.
He's
This
like
is 30.
He's Darth Vader of the teleprompter.
Oh my gosh. Granddaughter looked at me all weird, and one of my friends was like, "You look like they're sometimes don't laugh.
Well, has Boots sent you to a different room yet? Okay, is Beaker going to be living in another room?
Oh yeah,
with
but
a CPAP?
Beaker was in a room a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. All right. Boots is smart. That's his wife. Look, we're single, so we have our own bed. The other side of the bed is for snacks and laundry.
or the dog.
Yes.
So tell us, what do you guys have in the near future that you'd like to push out to let everybody know about?
For sure. So we are wrapping up back to school. So we just did a back to school. I'm doing another giveaway. I was blessed with about 200 backpacks. So after our event, so I'm doing another event on Monday. So I'm going to try to push out backpacks for those that are still in need of school supplies, because that stuff is expensive.
My heart is just so happy right now.
And
You're
teachers
amazing.
ask for the craziest.
We do not ask. Well, I'm a speech therapist in the schools, and we do not ask for crazy things.
You guys ask for crazy things.
MBR does something every Christmas. We've been doing it for 9 years. 9 years. We give these backpacks to the homeless veterans at Valor Point in Lakewood.
Nice.
And these backpacks, not only do they have, office supplies and materials, but they have nonprofit swag and stuff, so that when they get out of the PTSD program, unlike the military, they have all these nonprofits that can help them navigate the system with tools. We've been doing that for 9 years, and Brandon Stokely comes over, and he visits with them, and we've had a lot of success with that.
I was the duck last time.
He was a very good duck.
That's hilarious.
That's the thing, is people need these resources, and I don't
do.
think that a lot of people understand that. So that's amazing
Right.
to provide families with the resources, because there's a ton of us out there. There's a bunch of different resources and different requirements and different this and different that. It's hard to navigate that. So I think that's
Right.
amazing that you're giving them like a black book essentially of like
Mhm.
options and ideas and places to start, because none of us are in competition with each other. There's
No.
plenty of supplies and resources to give everybody. And I think that's something that really needs to be known too, is that you can come to me and another person and it's okay.
Absolutely. And so I have friends who are international, and we actually had this discussion probably about a month ago about how in America there's so much shame attached to when you're struggling and things like that. But in other countries, in Europe and Canada and other places like that, it's like, oh, hey, this one's struggling. We need to help them. And everybody comes together and there's no shame. And it seems to be very unique to America.
Yeah,
And we
it
need to change this.
And I think a lot too,
We're
as
people.
as I see on the both ends of it, I
Yes.
see the nonprofit side. I see the people needing help.
Yes.
I've been a person that's needed
Absolutely.
help.
We all have.
As
We
I
all
feel
have.
it's competition-ish, and it's
Yes.
It is. It should
And
not
then,
be that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you're a loser. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have failed.
No.
We all have little pieces and parts where we dip here. The sun always rises. You know,
and there's
like it sets and it rises, and we got to move with it.
And and like when I first started that, I would go to these nonprofits. Hey, I want swag, and so they were, well, we got brochures. Okay, brochures and business cards. they're going to be thrown away. Okay.
Absolutely.
If you want to really help your nonprofit, you need to put like stuff like emblems on stuff that people use. Don't give them a shirt because their 50-50 cotton shirt is going to go in the closet right by Tim Tebow's jersey. Okay.
Well, thermal mugs, backpacks, thermal mugs are awesome.
And pins. Ink pins.
Oh, I love pens.
Ink
I
pins.
never.
Biggest thing.
Okay. I'm very specific with my pens. And I write
ink pens,
on everything.
stress balls, keychains, stuff like that, you know, things that people use every day.
Absolutely.
You know, what you got to think when you're doing like the promotion and stuff, you know, you put your logo on absolutely anything, but like, what do you need every single day?
Pens are my big thing.
Yeah,
I love pens.
exactly.
I
love
collect
pens.
them. I collect them too. I'm like,
love
oh, I
pens.
like that pen. I'm going to take that one.
Well, we always get good ones in the medical world.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, yes. Okay. I
You do.
love me some pens.
You do. And I have some real weird ones that I'm like,
Oh.
you know, I don't even care what it says right now. This is kind of weird.
If it's weird, give it to
It
me.
writes smooth, so I'm going to take it.
Weird
Well,
better.
Well, I tell you what, I went into a doctor's office one time, and you know, I was still a pin or whatever, you know, and I quit doing that the day somebody was like, "Why do you have a Viagra pin?" And I'm like, "Okay, so make sure you grab the right pin, you know."
Oh, I've had worse, but yes, I medical ones, yes.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm like, it's a story now because now I'm gonna have to tell you when you ask me why do I have this pin about, you know, genital warts or something stupid.
That was awesome. Yes, you're my kind of girl.
I don't know if you've heard the joke. I'm telling this joke. I don't know if you've heard the joke, and then we'll go to the time to shine.
filter.
But there's a joke where, you know, this guy goes to the teller at the bank, and she's like, "Do you need a pen?" He's like, "Nope, I got a pen." And he reaches in to grab a pen, and he's like, "Well," and it was a girl, and she was a nurse, and she was like, "Well, dang it." She's like, "Some butthole stole my pen."
Well, you know, I'd be upset too. I have a memory. How much time do we have, real quick?
About 3-4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Well, we were talking about how humbling it is sometimes when we need assistance, and that we all go through it. And it brought me back to one of the first times that I was actually on the other end of needing help. Okay. And so everybody always asks me about Hurricane Katrina. So in New Orleans, we're over Katrina. However, we're not over the memories of it. And so when I was traveling back, my children were 12, 10, and 2 at the time. We didn't know what we were coming back to. I get a little emotional. Our anniversary's coming up. Okay. And so we stopped at a Jack in the Box. I was somewhere in Texas, I think. I don't know. We were back pretty quickly because we had Patriot passes. We worked in medicine. And so we lost everything. But we didn't know yet. And so at this Jack in the Box, my kids and I were, the whole family were sitting there. The workers, this gets me so emotional every time, man. The workers there went to the Dollar General while we were eating and brought back bags of toys for my children. And it was the most humbling experience because I'm a professional and so is my ex-husband. And, you know, both of my parents were bankers. We never really wanted for much of anything, but here we were in this situation. And so I wanted to share that because we all go through moments in time, and it was a very humbling experience, but it was a very beautiful experience. And so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah.
It gave me, it just, don't feel ashamed to ask for help. I didn't even ask for help, but those people knew that
And
my
it's-
kids.
It's the memory that you have now, years later, that lasts with you. And I
This is
think
20
that's-
years,
and
21 years
That's
almost.
exactly why I do it. So on top of school supplies, we also do Thanksgiving dinners. So families in need who Thanksgiving dinners, the whole fixings, the turkey, all the fixings we get donated, and then we distribute them to families. We do our big Christmas one. That's a big one. So that's an opportunity too for people to volunteer and give back to their community, but also receive. So we give new gifts. We bring Santa out. We have stocking stuffers. They can grab their presents. I bring a mobile food pantry to the event. It's a big 4-day event.
Let
2
me know how I
weeks.
can help.
I will.
Okay, I'm here. Boom, boom.
It takes 2 weeks to set up. It's a big one. And then Easter baskets is our last last one. So that's another kind of how we get back to the holiday side. And then before I forget, also we offer free CPR classes once a month.
Oh, that's nice.
Excellent.
So
Wow.
That's nice.
Wow.
We
I
have
just saw a TikTok. I'm like, what in the world is this? I just saw a TikTok about somebody doing CPR on a dog.
Oh, I did CPR on my dog.
Well, this was like a tiny
I
dog.
did.
Like they just birthed.
Yes.
They had to put their mouth
Oh,
inside
no.
their mouth.
My
and-
dog was not tiny, but she was outside and her tongue. Yeah, I did CPR on my
yeah,
dog.
I made my kids. You're never too young to learn how to save a life. So
Absolutely.
that's the biggest thing for us. The CPR class itself is free. If you need all the certification, then that goes through the instructor, and it's really low cost because she's working with us and she knows.
I need to so you're going to be
BLS,
my contact now
yeah.
because I have until,
Yeah.
well, I need to check. I think I have until next year.
She does BLS, she does the certification, but the class itself is free because knowledge is power, right?
Right.
And that's something also we really want our families to know, that we want to encourage these other things of knowledge to help. And that's where the kind of the hand up is instead of a hand out, is that we want to be able to provide these other resources, whether it be us or another organization,
Right.
to help these families get back on their feet and get them going where they need to be, because nobody wants to sit and struggle. Like,
Right.
that's the worst feeling in the
nobody's
world, is to-
choosing that.
Yeah, so that's where we're kind of like, let us help you. How can we help you? Where do you need the help? And let us bank together with other resources so that we can say, this is your need. Here, I got a flyer for you, or I got a person for you, or I have this for you. Because like I said, nobody wants to continue struggling.
No,
So
that's
the
the truth.
biggest thing for us, is that's where the hand up instead of a hand out is, because everybody can get free. Everybody can sit here with their hand out
Right.
and just keep coming. But what good does that do for you? What
That
does
is
that
the
teach you?
minority. So that is the minority of people on assistance,
Mhm.
and most people like to believe that's the majority of people. But I have dedicated my career to low income and those types of areas, and it is not.
No.
Well, I will say this, and this will be, it's not really a question, but we're getting ready to go to the time to shine. But I will say this, that, I've learned dealing with like nonprofits and society, and I tell them, like, look, right now you might not need a nonprofit. And it's hard to get back. It's hard to get behind something if you've never been affected. But if you've been affected by it, then you're going to support it.
Yeah.
I make a joke about it, but it's the seriousness. Like, I don't have any family members that are midgets, okay? But
I am.
I don't have any family members that are midgets, so I don't support midget wrestling. All right, but if I did support midget wrestling, so
I'm close to being a little person.
I-
Okay?
nobody's littler than me.
I'm shorter than you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I
No,
am.
you're not.
5 feet tall.
We're gonna argue with this behind the scenes. It's that time, everybody.
I'm shorter than you and a better teleprompter.
It is the. Once again, I just want to say thank you for coming in here. Stunning attitude. You're the kind of person that we wanted to come in here and talk with us. Especially
Yeah,
on
you're
Friday.
awesome.
I love doing Friday shows.
Friday.
So with this
Weekend.
with this interview, maybe we didn't ask you that right specific question that like got to that answer, to where maybe there's something that's really laying on your chest. This is your 2 minutes to tell whatever you want to our community that's watching, that's listening. I didn't tell you this, but this is on Roku TV as well. So yeah, this is your 2 minutes to shine.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is, I just want everybody to know that you can reach out to us. You can go to our website to reach out. You can email me. It's on the website. So anybody who needs help, like I said, if it's food you need, we have tons of different choices, this is another thing I really want everyone to understand at the food pantry, is because everybody's got food sensitivities now, which is, God bless you, because food is like life to me. So I don't know what I would do if I had some
I
of
feel
these
this. I feel
sensitivities.
this. I'm Cajun. I don't know.
I love, but we have those things. I have a plentiful amount of, for the vegans, for the dairy free, for the gluten, for the different type of religions that have all these different
Yeah,
needs for the
no
food.
pork.
So
Yeah, exactly.
So this
yeah.
is something I really want to stress, and that it's a grocery store like feeling. You get to shop for things that you would eat and enjoy and actually use. That being said, it's all donation based. So if anybody ever wants to donate to the cause, please let me know. Volunteering is huge. Volunteering for us is like the heartbeat of our nonprofit. So for us, we need that help. It's the extra hands, and they always say many hands make light work. Cannot stress that enough in a nonprofit, because there is only a couple of us that do this every single day, and then the drop-in volunteers.
It's always the same people in those types of positions.
Yeah,
It's always.
so volunteering is huge.
I'm volunteering for you, so I encourage everyone to follow me.
Thank you. We have a couple things. The other thing I want to also is, this will go probably for the veterans too, is we own a smash room, a rage room.
Oh, wow.
So,
Smash therapy.
Yes.
Oh, I like this. HG, we're going to take a field trip.
coming.
So that's a fundraiser for us. That's what helps pay our bills, to keep the lights on. We're attached together, the food pantry and this rage room. So that's another one that I always try to stress too for everybody, especially for therapy.
What's the physical address?
So we have two, but the main one is going to be 9034 West 88th Avenue, and that's in Westminster.
Okay,
so
Westminster.
Kind of down the street from here. The rage room is 9050, but they're attached. So it's
Okay.
We'll put that in the podcast.
I need to smash something.
The therapy of smashing something is also very beneficial for anybody that has.
We used to.
This is
We
in the
used to
last
do that in
5
high
years.
school. They brought it in a car, and
Yeah.
you had $10 for a swing.
But in the last 5 years, this has become smash therapy is becoming a thing.
I get grief.
Okay?
Grief
It
is a big one, and
releases-
I did not realize it until owning and working and being a part of it, the grief of it, where people come in with grief, and it's like so therapeutical, and you just hear them. Sometimes it makes you cry, because you can just hear them releasing, and it's like, get it, girl.
That's right. Healthy anger is okay.
You get to
and
come smash,
it's
break stuff,
okay.
and we get to clean up your mess. So
Yep.
it's really the best of both worlds. You
You're an amazing
break
person.
stuff.
Hell yeah.
I have a team. I'm not a one-man show. I have an amazing team.
I
So I do have to give
understand.
them kudos.
You
for
have a
their-
team, but we all know that nonprofits are they're the kind of skeleton crews. Usually it's like 2 people,
Yeah.
1 worker
It is,
bee,
yes.
and like 2 or 3 people. I know.
All
You
the
know, when-
people
when-
with empathy and all the feels, the people who cry, we get together.
When people look at nonprofits, they're like, oh, they can get all this money and
No,
grant money. And,
not at all.
getting a grant is like finding a needle in a haystack.
And there's rules with that grant. It's not
yes.
just free money just willy
isn't.
nilly.
Right, exactly.
Stipulations, and
yes.
people I don't think realize that. And again, we're donation based. Like I don't have a budget to buy food. I do not have a budget
No.
to buy Christmas toys. I do not have a budget to buy
It
back to
doesn't
school
work that
supplies.
way.
And I think people get that that shame of nonprofits in that sense of like, well, you're a nonprofit, so everything's just given to you kind of mentality. And it's like, do you know the amount of hours I have to go hunt this stuff down?
It doesn't
Do you
even
know
happen
this?
that way for United Way. So I did this for United Way for a long time. It doesn't work that way for large organizations.
I wish
So
it would
you're a
just
mom
drop
and
in my.
pop.
I just wish it would drop in my lap, but that's not how that works.
frustrating.
So
Well-
we have to come up with other ways, and it's the people and it's the community that helps these nonprofits. So continue helping the nonprofits.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Yes, you are. Brianna, thank you so much for coming in. We'll have to have you in here again sometime.
Around, I think holidays. we
Hell
can
yeah.
get her back in here.
I got big
Yeah.
holiday
Because
events, so
we'll
we
do
need to get the
something.
people there dinners and
dinners and Christmas gifts. I'm all about it. So
Absolutely.
please, anytime.
Well, everybody, we're running out of time, so we're going to go on a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Brianna is here. joyousjourney.org. Check them out. And with that being said, you're listening to the show that highlights all the nonprofit programs out there beyond the VA. You're on MBR. Stay with us. Tribute to the Troop next.
And trivia.
Ooh, trivia.
Detail attention.
First call, the service member's name is called out loud in the context of a unit. This is meant to ensure all are present and accounted for. Second call, the name is called out again, louder, to confirm that the service member is indeed absent. Third call, The name is called out for a final time, followed by a statement indicating that the service member is not present and accounted for, signifying their death. The final roll call serves as a symbolic gesture to respect and remember their service.
Sir, I don't know how to tell the story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Marine Corps Captain Richard Dick Knoble, age 87, of Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Dick was born on April 28, 1939 to Lawrence and Margaret Peg Salter Knoble. Dick grew up in the family business, learning early the values of hard work, responsibility, and perseverance. Those values shaped a man who believed there was always a way forward, a belief he carried with him into the Marine Corps. After earning his engineering degree from Lehigh University, Dick answered the call to serve. From 1962 to 1965, he served on active duty as an aircraft maintenance officer, including time with the 1st Marine Aircraft Wing in Ikumi, Japan. He continued his service in the Marine Corps Reserve, ultimately attaining the rank of captain. And those who knew him will tell you, Dick never stopped being a Marine. His discipline, determination, and refusal to accept it can't be done stayed with him throughout his life. In 1968, Dick married the love of his life, Barbara, and together they raised their sons, Rick and Brian, in a home where family and community were inseparable. Their hospitality became part of the Knobles experience, welcoming families with the same warmth they showed their own. In 1988, Dick went on to lead Knobles Amusement Resort through nearly 4 decades of growth. Under his steady hand, the park expanded into a destination where families could spend days making memories. But for Dick, growth was never about adding more. It was about giving families new ways to be together. He walked the park with pride, listening to carousel organs, checking on projects, talking with team members, and watching families enjoy the place he dedicated his life to. He believed deeply in craftsmanship, dedication, and the heart of people who made Knobles special. He expected excellence, but he expected the most from himself. Dick's influence reached far beyond Ellisburg. He served in leadership roles across the amusement industry, and in 2014, he was inducted into the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions Hall of Fame. He was also an Eagle Scout, a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason, and a loyal supporter of the Masonic Children's Village. Service was not something he did, it was who he was. On July 16, 2026, Dick passed away peacefully, surrounded by loved ones at the age of 87. Dick is survived by his sons, grandchildren, siblings, extended family, and his brothers and sisters in arms. We here at MBR would like to thank you, Captain Richard Knoble, for your service and dedication to our country. You leave a legacy of love and courage. Our prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside you. You are truly missed.
Bell detail, tinted, ready.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here to lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Every setback is just a setup for a comeback. Keep quacking forward. 90% of what we worry about in future never happens.
Whenever things get rough or it feels like you're at the edge, remember this: storms pass.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Man, that was a good interview. She gave us a little pep talk. I love it. I love it. And with that being said, we're going into our next segment, the story behind it all.
Solid olive green made soldiers easy to see. ERDL camouflage saved lives. Grenada showed it was too hot. That is the story.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, there's a lot of stories that I can come up with. And, you know, I thought to myself Monday, I'm like, you know, what would I like to know about? And I'm like, you know, I yell all the time because, you know, we have the highest, it's not much, but we have the highest paid military. Mm-hmm. And the military, they like to change their uniforms constantly. While I was in, we changed PT uniforms 3 times. It was ridiculous. And so I wanted to tell a little bit of story of how that became. So In the 1960s, the United States Army sending soldiers halfway around the world in Vietnam. And when many of these soldiers arrived, well, they're wearing something that looks nothing like most of us today picture. When we hear the words combat uniform, they're wearing green, basically one color, olive green. Now put that soldier in Vietnam. Thick jungle, different shades of green, brown branches, black shadows, sunlight breaking through the canopy, and standing in the middle of all of this as an American soldier, wearing essentially one big black block of green. Well, here's the problem. Nature isn't one color. And when somebody on the other side is actively looking for you, being difficult to see isn't a fashion statement. It can be the difference between coming home and not coming home. When you shoot your gun, you let them know where you're at. That's kind of scary. So during Vietnam, the military started learning some very expensive lessons about what an American soldier should wear in combat. The Army developed tropical combat uniforms specifically for Vietnam. Eventually, some American troops began receiving something very different. It was called ERDL camouflage, named after the Army Engineer Research and Development Laboratory. Instead of one shade of green, now we've got greens, browns, blacks, and other tones breaking up that outline of the human body. For the first time, you're starting to see something that looks strangely familiar, because if you ever worn woodland BDUs, you're basically looking at their grandfather. But here's the interesting part. Vietnam ends, America comes home, and the Army doesn't immediately say, well, camouflage worked, everybody get camouflage now. No, for much of the Army, the everyday utility uniform goes back to being essentially solid olive green. So now imagine you're in the Army in the late 1970s. Vietnam has taught you lessons about jungle warfare, but the next war might not be Vietnam, might be the Soviet Union. And sitting across from NATO and Europe, the Cold War is very real. American forces might have to fight in forests in Germany, or maybe the next fight is somewhere completely different. Maybe it's the Middle East. So the question changes is no longer what uniform works in Vietnam. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do we put on an American soldier who may have to fight anywhere in the world? And that's where the uniform starts. Becoming part of a much bigger system. The Army's researchers go back to camouflage, work that had already been done. They study colors. They study patterns. They study how far away a soldier can be detected. They even consider in-flare detection, and they take the Vietnam era ERDL concept and develop a larger woodland camouflage pattern intended for temperature environments. Then October 1st, 1981 arrives. The United States Army officially introduces something that an entire generation of us would eventually recognize instantly: the battle dress uniform. BDUs, green, brown, black, tan. Woodland camouflage, reinforced knees, reinforced elbows, reinforced seats, 50-50 cotton nylon fabric. Here's what I think is the coolest part of the story. The BDU wasn't simply somebody sitting in an office saying, hey, camouflage looks more military, let's do that. It represented the lessons learned from what soldiers had already experienced. The tropical combat uniform from Vietnam influenced its design. The camouflage experiments from Vietnam introduced this pattern, and now the Army wanted camouflage to be part of the normal combat clothing system. not something reserved for certain soldiers or fighting in one particular jungle. But the story isn't over because what soldiers are really good at finding problems that look perfectly fine on somebody drawing a board. The BDU goes to war. Grenada, 1983. American troops are fighting in a hot tropical environment, and soldiers discover something pretty quickly. The original BDU, it's hot. It's really hot. The Army itself later acknowledged that combat experience in Grenada showed BDUs was too hot for tropical climates. Think about that irony. Vietnam helped produce lessons that led towards the BDU. And then another tropical fight showed the Army that the new uniform still wasn't right. So for the period, the Army actually continued allowing the older tropical combat uniform while it worked in the problem. Eventually, by 1988, there was a hot weather BDU made with cotton rip strips, and there was the real story. Excuse me. Military equipment doesn't usually appear because nobody suddenly has a brilliant idea, but it evolves. A soldier wears something into combat, something works, something doesn't. Someone comes home and reports a problem. Researchers change it. The Army issues something new. Then another soldier takes that into combat and finds the next problem. Vietnam helped teach the Army that a combat uniform needed to work with that environment. The camouflage developed during that era helped lead to the Woodland. BDU took the lessons and turned camouflage into everyday image of the American soldier for the entire generation. And then Grenada taught us, yeah, we're not quite done yet. Eventually, the BDU itself would disappear. Another generation of war creates another set of lessons. Another uniform would take its place. Because the uniform hanging in your closet isn't just cloth. Look closely enough. You're looking at a decade of soldiers who are something before you, figured out what was wrong with it, and helped create what came next. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story behind the BDU and uniform. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the final thoughts.
At Project ML, gratitude. Our mission is simple: to give motorcycles to veterans who need the kind of peace and freedom that only a ride can give. We sponsor charity events and rides to generate donations and fund the acquisition of some bikes, while direct bike donations make up the rest. We seek to provide a little motorcycle healing to capable vets.
All right. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a veteran or a soldier that needs some wind therapy, just another outlet, have them go to ML Project Gratitude. They give a motorcycle every year to a deserving veteran that, not because of their disability, not because of how much time that they had in the military, but a veteran or a soldier that literally raised his right hand and gave that blank check to the U.S. government saying, take my life to give others freedom. And we need to remember that. So if you're that person, make sure you go to their website, nominate you or another veteran. And if you need help, come to me. We'll fix it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, final thoughts. This has been a very interesting and a very fun show. I learned a lot. HG, what did you learn?
I learned that there's a not so scientific method to find out if people are from Colorado. Apparently.
Yeah, right. Everybody laughed at that, but hey, it's not always true, but it's interesting,
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
MJ,
One of the things.
What did you learn today?
Well, I learned so much. I learned about camouflage. That really piqued my interest as a linguist. I looked up when the word camouflage was invented, and I learned that in 1914, the first person to use camouflage was in France in World War I. So now I know a lot more about our uniforms,
Right?
and I'm about to go and do a deep dive later. Okay,
You're gonna go in a rabbit hole.
there's a whole rabbit hole with the Army and how their uniforms
Hey,
came to be. So I'm
MJ,
going
the next
into
time,
it.
and the next time you co-host, you can totally do a behind the story because
I'm a nerd,
Well, look, you can hear a song, but when you learn the inspiration, you learn about that song, or if you learn about the person, man, that song it hits totally different. There's an old saying that when you're happy, you're listening to the music.
Yeah.
When you're sad, you comprehend it.
Yes, that's right. You feel the words.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, but with that being said, that is our show for today. Before we go,
Well, I want to know what you learned.
whoa, okay. Well, I kind of learned that they don't just change they're not like the NFL. They don't just change jerseys to make money. There's actually a reason why they change BDUs and stuff. So that's the one thing that I learned. And the new military uniforms that they have is like spandex now.
I
So
bet, like dry fit, yeah.
I totally get it, especially since we can't seem to leave people in the Middle East alone. So there's that also. But before we go, we have a message from Beaker. Today's safety briefing.
Stay smart, stay safe, be legendary. Know before you go. Don't drink and drive, and don't drive distracted.
And just make sure that you do a risk assessment before you do anything. Hey, even if that sun isn't blazing, those rays are. Okay, so even if the sun isn't out, be sure to wear that sunscreen, especially if you're out. Always, like 4 or 5. I had my granddaughter the one of the weekends, and my daughter looked at me, and I didn't question her because I never even heard of it. But she was like, yeah, just make sure you give her, SP 700 or something like that. And I'm like, I haven't even heard of that before.
We're closer to the troposphere. We have less of a troposphere here.
Yes.
And so it's very important. And yes, I understand SPF 700.
Okay, so I never even heard of it. I was
There's
always
700.
I was always told anything past SP 30 is good. But hey, it might be true, and the reason why it might be true is because the donation box that I had that I made out of play filament from the 3D printer, man, I went outside and the thing was like nearly melted, and it was in the compartment of the bike. You have to use a hair dryer to bend it out. I'm learning a lot of stuff about 3D printing, and if you're a veteran first responder and you want to do that, make sure that you sign up, because we'll be teaching that class. Well, everybody, it is that time for us to end the show. We just want you to know, on behalf of here at the show, we know that you have a person, or we know you have very little time in the morning, and you chose to drink coffee with us. So we wanted to thank you for that for sure.
Did HG give us the answer?
HG, what's the answer real quick?
We need an answer.
The answer to the trivia question, the two non-SEC and Big Ten schools in the top 10 are Miami and Notre Dame.
There you go.
Go
There you
Tigers! Go LSU!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, from everybody here at MBR, from everybody here at the H Train Show, from Behind the Glass HG, we want to tell you that once again, we are here to show you it's all about you, not about us. And we all said, giving our veterans a voice. See you guys next Friday, where our interview will be announced. We're being decisive. See you next Friday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that never leaves you behind. Download our Roku or mobile app today.
Wisdom to share if you listen this week, so pull up a chair and stay for a spell. We're heading down a trail where good stories dwell.